Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Ranking Revolution podcast, your go-to source for strategies and ideas for SEO, organic growth, content creation, and online business. I'm Doug Cunnington. I'm your host. This episode is part 2 with Fernando Angulo. He is the senior market researcher and international speaker at Semrush, having over a decade of experience driving successful campaigns and building top performing teams. In the first part, we talk about market trends, digital marketing trends, SEO, and competitive analysis. This episode, we talk about running effective influencer marketing campaigns and a couple things you need to consider to make sure if you're running such a campaign that it is indeed effective. So we'll cover that. We get straight to the point. One cool thing, and Fernando mentions it in the second part of the interview, he has free access for Semrush, one of those trial periods, and he explains some of the cool stuff that is going on at Semrush. There's some new products, some new features, so he gets into that towards the end of the conversation, but I wanted to point it out. It's one of those deals where you probably get X amount of access. It's probably like 7 days or 14 days. I'm not 100% sure of the exact amount of time, but you can check it out there. Additionally, I might be an affiliate. The link might be an affiliate link. I'm actually an affiliate for Semrush, but I'm unsure what link I have to send you to. So in that case, if you do make a purchase, I might get a commission, which I greatly appreciate, but I'm unsure what this link is. So check it out. If I'm an affiliate, then I might get a commission. And I just got to say that for legal reasons, you know. So without further ado, let's get to the interview with Fernando. So because we could keep talking for many, many hours, Fernando, we need to move on to the next area here. And I want to talk about effective influencer marketing campaigns. And you have some great tips. And I could tell you as I would never call myself an influencer, but it turns out, that's what other people would call me. So we could use that vocabulary to make the conversation flow here. But I get a lot of outreach. People want to sponsor stuff. They want to get in the newsletter. There's a lot of money out there, and these companies have a budget to go and work with influencers, but depending on the partnership, it may not work out for anyone at all, or it may just work out for the influencer if they're getting paid. So how can a company set up a campaign with the best chances of success?
All your questions are really good because they are straight to the point. So when you are launching an influencer campaign, and right now they are really important for into B2B and even more for B2C segment. So in those two areas, we have different ways to work with. So the first and most easiest way to work with is to work with the help of an agency, because they already have the whole thing set up, and they have the knowledge of the KPIs, how the contracts, how the agreements need to work. But if you are working on your own and you want to start an influencer campaign by your own, with your own methods, I will definitely recommend you to start with, again, set your goals, set your clear objectives. What do you want to achieve? You want to achieve new sales, you want to achieve just to reach more people, to gain visibility. So if you have this from the beginning, the rest is going to be easier. The second part here is going to be the same. You need to understand who's your audience, who's the audience of that your service or product is meant to be for this campaign. So in this case, it's going to be easier to understand what type of influencer you need to reach out. Maybe you have your own influencer that you are following, but that's not the right fit for the product or service, because he's talking about a different thing. He's in another segment, but you still want to see that face talking about your product. If the message and the face of the message didn't match the product or service, that's just a waste of money and time. You need to identify clearly who's your audience and what type of influencer is talking with a relevant voice and influencer voice to that audience. So define your goals to define, and then define your target audience for the right influencer. After that, you need to do the research. I was checking a lot of these marketers working on Fiverr, Get It Done, and platforms like that, that they are charging you like $20 or $50 to create the list of influencers for your industry. I can say more. I use some of their services, but it's not the same. Some of them are really good, but the research needs to be in order. So you know the goals, you know the audience. You need to do the research. You need to evaluate the content that the influencer is delivering, and then you need to reach out to them. You need to write to them and say, "Hey, I have this project." Of course, you need to have a budget for the influencer, or sometimes the influencer they already have their own budget. You can ask for their services, how much they're charging for the message. It usually goes depending on the amount of the audience, the size of the audience, followers that they have. In some other parts, it's depending on the engagement that they have per post. So you can do the maths following the engagement rate for the last, I don't know, 3 months, and the amount of audience that they have till now. If the engagement rate is 5% or 10% ratio, so that's a good thing. If the engagement rate is lower than 2%, well, maybe they have a large audience, but if they're not engaged, that's less waste of money. In this case, if they're not reacting, you're not going to be receiving much from that influencer. So the engagement rate needs to be higher. And in the next step, I will say, well, you need to develop a clear campaign strategy. You need to create a campaign brief, analyzing there the content brief. So, what is the message that the influencer needs to talk about? Create some content guidelines. If you are a brand, you need to give them your brand voice. You need to give the proper hashtags for the campaign, and of course, all the legal requirements. In the US, is different than in Europe. You need to disclose if this is a sponsored content or not. You need to disclose in certain platforms because the platform is asking for that, and you need to present the content plan. Decide the type of content that you want to be created. It's an Instagram post, it's a YouTube video, it's a reel, it's a story, it's a TikTok video, whatever, and the timing for publishing. And once that is defined, you can talk about, okay, when this is going to be delivered and the payment process. So having these 3 points is already half of the way, but then the most important thing of the campaign starts, which is executing the campaign. So the day has come when they need to be publishing something. You need to track the performance. So if you have UTM links, you need to give it to them so you can track that on your analytics. And you need to engage as well as a company with them online to say, okay, yes, this is our product, this is our service, and at least you need to evaluate all the results that you have and create a report to determine if you have created any ROI, what you gained as a result, and if you accomplished the goals that you set up at the beginning. That's the thing that you need to be following. 5 really easy steps from starting with a goal, analyzing who is your user, determining who is your influencer, then outreaching to them, creating the brief content with them, and then analyzing the results. That's a really interesting campaign.
I'm glad you went over the first couple steps there. I feel like it's a personal coaching session for me with defining your goals and just understanding what you're doing and who you're trying to reach. And it's so important, but a lot of times as a content consumer and a creator myself, I'm creating content and I know potentially some people are watching it just like me who jump in and we're like, oh, I need to do this thing, but we forget, does this actually line up with my goals? And, we're kind of running around doing activities that doesn't actually they don't help us with where we're trying to go because we didn't define where we're trying to go. We're, navigating without a map, just kind of wandering around. So very key. One thing I want to get to is the fact that there can be two goals for these campaigns, whether you're working with influencer and influencer marketing or another kind of campaign. And a lot of times, because we do have all this tracking capability, we want to see the ROI. We want to, it's like, what is the ROI on this? We want to, we want to put it in $1 and get out $1.25 every time. But the fact is there are some maybe old school campaigns where people just want to get the message out. And we see this sometimes where companies will sponsor a booth at a conference, or they're just advertising to get their name out so they are associated positively. Can you talk a little bit about the unclear objective with just getting the word out and the effectiveness? Now, as a content creator myself, I love those campaigns because I don't need to necessarily be responsible for converting, but it gets the word out so people know, they know Coke, right? They know these other campaigns where like Coke's not trying to sell more Cokes with these big commercials. They just want people to have warm feelings about the brand. So kind of an open question, but can you talk about that? Because it's the opposite of ROI. It's the opposite of metrics. It's just like, hey, is this a big player out there? Do we want to be associated with them?
Oh yes, that's the type of campaigns that I really love because when you are not talking about monetization, when you are not talking about ROI as a final result, I'm pretty sure that you have more freedom for creativity because you don't feel that kind of pressure that yes, I need to sell more. My marketing needs to be selling because that's not the purpose of marketing per se. Marketing is about to get the attention of the people in the right place, the right moment, and get that attention to say, hey, this is the think that you were expecting to solve your problem. So I can help you with this. So to make you part of their brand with their products that you can choose. So you are a good option for them. So I believe that's the right purpose of marketing to get the attention of the people with an exceptional product that you have in order to solve their problems. That's the right type of marketing, that right of marketing campaign. And to do that, well, I believe every company needs to have some of those campaigns from point to point. I remember I have created tons of those campaigns that are the main purpose is branding, is awareness, and loyalty, brand loyalty. I can give a couple of examples. Just for an instance, I remember we have created these events, which were for customers and for some potential customers, for the people from different places of the world. We gathered them in different countries to have top-notch experiences. Actually, at some point, we went to Austria and we were running with them these sports cars. We have these workshops by a professional sports car driver, and we were driving his car and some similar cars. So it was just part of the experience. Nobody was talking about SEO or content marketing, but we were just having an experience. How you can measure that is basically impossible to measure that kind of campaigns. The only thing is the smile on the people's faces, the immediate post on social media about their brilliant experience with the brands, the pictures that they have on their Facebook or Instagram, whatever, with the experience that they are receiving. That's why some of the greatest platforms, like TikTok or YouTube, even, they have these kinds of gatherings with top influencers. They go to an island, they go to a top 7 stars hotel in Dubai, and they have this great experience. So these campaigns, to build more brand awareness, more trust, they need to have their place in every company if you are determined to build a brand. And as an SEO, as someone that is working with SEO or in an SEO or the SEO tool for so many years, I will say that the most important thing on SEO is brand. If you are a brand, you are good at SEO for sure. Google, they don't need to do SEO because they are a brand. Coca-Cola, they don't need to do SEO because they are a brand. The people note about them, people they are already hearing all over the place about them. And of course, when they are doing SEO, they are doing just naturally, organically. Everything is about them. I can mention companies like Airbnb, Booking, or other names. You have their Netflix. You can have Tesla. They are doing even Tesla. They're not doing any paid advertising overall. Everything is organic and everything is about their brand. If you want to build your brand, think more about experience and less about your goals. It's really difficult. If you're a business owner, you're like, oh my god, how I can spend so much money on something that I don't know what to spend. Well, if you build it properly with an experienced team or with your happy customers, with your champions, things can change or in a really good direction.
Let me know the next time you guys are doing one of those events. I'll show up. Sounds fun.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're fantastic.
All right. Well, as we're wrapping up here, I want to cover just a couple more things here. So, number one, you mentioned in some of our show notes here how important it is to have like a good understanding of top digital marketing tools and resources to just operate. So not everyone is going to be able to use all of the things here, but can you talk about the list here? I'm not sure if you have a link or anything that we could include.
Sure. In this case, this is my opportunity to advertise our newest update. So we as Semrush, right? We have different tools inside of the platform, but we have also different companies that we have acquired. Some of them are, for example, Compite. Some of them are, for example, in the recent couple of months, Brand24, social monitoring, or others like the PR tool or tool for PRs, which is Proly. So they're different and really interesting products that can align with your strategy of building more visibility, of building a better online visibility. But the latest update, and I want you to try this as well, I will give you the link to try free trial. This is a really good update because we were able to show only monthly and weekly updates about what your competitors are doing in terms of web traffic. But right now we're able to show daily data. So in this case, this daily data update, it can help you to understand what products, what services are working for your competitors today, and you can see all that basically for change your strategy with daily changes. You don't need to wait for next week. Oh my God, last week they launched this project. Oh, we're late. No, you can see that with daily data updates that we are offering right now. I will give you the link for this daily data updates, and everybody can use it for 1 week and check what is happening in their industry, what is happening in their niche in a daily basis. Because if you have the chance to change a little bit to your strategy or to modify your strategy on a daily basis, that's a game changer for any company.
And I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly. So with all the Google updates that it doesn't matter when we're recording this, right? So there's always Google updates. They're pretty dramatic, and having that visibility to understand what's happening on a daily basis can be really valuable. So I just want to make sure like this, we can understand the Google updates and the impacts to not just us, but competitors with this update. Is that right?
Well, that's just a little part because when I'm talking about web traffic data, I'm talking not only about organic traffic, right, which is basically coming all from Google search, but I'm talking about what is happening in terms of paid advertising, what is happening with the direct traffic, with social media traffic, with email marketing traffic, with social media ad traffic, with the referral traffic. So with all sources of traffic. So if it's a global campaign, if it's a big campaign, you can see what are the reasons that that product or that service is working so good and it was launched yesterday, or what is the reason that they stopped running those ads and they're not publishing those ads anymore, or what are the reasons that they are not working more with those partners, with those affiliates, or what happened with their email marketing campaign, it's not working anymore, or the email marketing traffic is working more. They launched the campaign yesterday, and you can analyze why. So it's about all the sources of traffic, not only organic, but organic is still there. You can see that. And I can tell you more. If you want to see all those changes in terms of Google updates, we have this tool that is called Google Semrush Sensor. Is semrush.com/sensor. It's a free tool. It's like the Weather Channel. We are monitoring every single second what is happening in the Google search results, in the search engine results, on every specific detail. I mean, every functionality. We have there all the SERPs. We have all the for example, all the the feature snippets, the carousel, the image, what is happening with those results in every single second, and what is happening in every single industry and across the globe. So you can check that as well.
All right. So it sounds too good to be true, honestly. So I have a question, which if it reveals trade secrets, we could take it offline and then you could tell me off the record. No. But basically, where does this data come from? Especially, let's say email, right? So that seems like pretty proprietary data. That seems like privacy issues. So can you expand on this? Because, that sounds great, but can we really trust this data?
Sure, that's something that is a totally normal question. Of course, when the time comes for the answer, I have not much to say. That internet is there, and there are tools like SEMrush, for example, or the people that are competing with us as well. For example, our friends from Moz or whatever other tools they are. Right, these tools like ours are helping to make the internet more transparent, transparent place, because Google is not the internet. Google is just a system, a platform that is taking parts of the internet or the whole internet and is making a library from it, right? We are making more visible all this information. That's the first part. All the data is up there. We are just organizing it and giving it a proper form. If we go a little bit more deeper, yes, of course, we are using something that is called clickstream data, and the clickstream data contains basically the digital path of users, which we have 500 million panelists or digital persons that are really well anonymized. We don't have their names, we don't have their pictures, we don't have basically anything from them, just their virtual path, their digital path, the website that we're visiting, the websites that they were clicking, and all that part. And that's basically the part of the data that we are using the most to build these traffic sources. For each website, we have built also a metric that is called accuracy. So for each website, you can see how accurate the data is. The bigger website, the bigger accuracy metric is. So if you have only your website for a couple of weeks or months, you're not going to be seeing much data there because the panels are not going there. But if you are already on the market for a year at least, and you have more than 100,000 visits, or let's say 10,000 visits per month, you're going to be seeing more data. And of course, we have third-party data sources that I cannot say publicly because we are a public company.
Got it. Okay, so mostly clickstream data. And from a statistical standpoint, I messed up that word. I'm sure people understand what I mean, but basically,
yeah, mystical.
statistical basis, if you have a small sample size, it's not accurate. But if you have a huge sample size, so it's like 10,000 versus 1 million, you're just going to have more accuracy with the higher frequency and a bigger pool of data, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. This is very cool. And you said we'll have a link in the description so people can get a 7-day trial, check out all the tools. Is it basically just full access for Semrush?
It's full access from Semrush, which is the core of our brand, and the access as well for this daily data update, which is part of the project that I'm working, that is called Dot Trends, which contains all the traffic sources and their respective analysis.
Got it. Beautiful. Like I said, Fernando, we could probably talk all day long, but I know we actually went over time a little bit here. We'll link up to Semrush. People can get the free trial that we just mentioned. And you're over on LinkedIn, so I'll put that in the description as well. Is there anywhere else that you want people to check out or follow?
Oh no, the link will be great. They can register if they're not registered already, or they can just send me a message if the link is not working for some cases, or they want to just mingle to my Fernando Angulo LinkedIn.
All right. Thanks a lot, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much for the invite.
Thanks a lot to Fernando and Semrush. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask, probably over on the YouTube side in the comments, and that way I'll certainly see it. If you happen to see Fernando out at a conference, he's probably speaking there. Say hello, let him know you heard him on the show. I think we'll have a link so you can check out Semrush if you want to. Great tool. I've used it for many years, and I think it was part one of the interview. He talked about SEO Quake, which was a tool that I used multiple times a day for several years. It's been a while at this point, but I used it quite a lot. Quick note, if you dig the show, if you enjoy Ranking Revolution, please leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, if you have the ability to. It helps out the show. Additionally, the thing that actually helps more is if you tell a friend, or maybe you're in a Facebook group where there's multiple people that you're in contact with. If you let people know a specific episode that you enjoyed, that they might enjoy, definitely share it out there, whether it's on the audio version or over on YouTube or whatever. But just word of mouth is really how podcasts spread. And I would really appreciate it if you did spread the word. Thanks a lot.